Joe Biden will travel to the UK early next month to attend COP26 after Brexit. Britain secured a huge deal breakthrough with the European Union. Philip Tirika, who serves as the Chargé d'Affaires of the US mission to the UK, tweeted, "It's official, President Biden will travel to Scotland for COP26. The gathering in Glasgow will be a pivotal moment on the road towards a more secure, prosperous, and sustainable future for our planet." In a statement, the White House said President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden will first travel to Rome for the G20 Leaders Summit on the 30th to the 31st of October. The day before, they will visit Vatican City and have an audience with the Pope. From the Italian capital, Mr. Biden will then travel to Glasgow from November 1-2 to participate in the World Leaders Summit at the start of the 26th Conference of the Parties to the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, COP26. The White House said in the statement, President Joseph A. Biden, Jr. and First Lady Jill Biden will travel to Rome, Italy for the G20 Leaders Summit on the 30th to the 31st of October. Additional information about individual bilateral engagements on the margins of the G20 will be forthcoming. The President and Dr. Biden will also visit Vatican City and have an audience with His Holiness Pope Francis on the 29th of October. They will discuss working together on efforts grounded in respect for fundamental human dignity, including ending the COVID-19 pandemic, tackling the climate crisis, and caring for the poor. From Rome, President Biden will travel to Glasgow, United Kingdom from November 1-2 to participate in the World Leaders Summit at the start of the 26th Conference of the Parties to the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, COP26. Mr. Biden's trip to the UK will come just over 2 weeks after Britain secured a major Brexit breakthrough after the EU made a handful of concessions when laying out proposals for the smooth running of trade in Northern Ireland. On Wednesday, European Commission Vice President Maros Sefcovic presented measures to slash 80% of regulatory checks and significantly cut customs processes on the movement of goods between Britain and the island of Ireland. Under the terms of the Northern Ireland Protocol, the European Court of Justice would act as the final arbitrator in any future trade dispute between the two sides. Britain wants that provision removed and replaced with an independent arbitration process as part of wide-ranging changes, but the EU is refusing to cave to the demand. Mr. Biden has been critical over Britain's resistance to the current protocol, with the US President's National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan recently insisting the mechanism is critical to ensuring that the spirit, promise and future of the Good Friday Agreement is protected. The disagreement over the protocol appears to have put a huge wedge between the UK and US over the potential for a lucrative trade deal between the two global superpowers. Talks have almost ground to a halt in the year since President Biden replaced Mr. Trump, who had regularly started to talk up the extremely healthy relationship between the US and UK. The former president had frequently hinted a lucrative trade deal was a strong possibility. Earlier this month, newly appointed Foreign Secretary Liz Truss insisted it is not the be-all and end-all if the US does not sign up to a wide-ranging agreement with Britain. The president's latest visit to Europe for meetings with world leaders could suggest the US is re-engaging with international groups after 4 years of former President Donald Trump's America First policies. The White House has also confirmed Mr. Biden is likely to meet with French President Emmanuel Macron while the two leaders are in Rome. During the G20 summit in the Italian capital, he will look to reach a deal on a global minimum tax, as well as discussions over fighting the COVID pandemic and boosting the global economic recovery. At COP26, his announcements about US commitments of investment and action to fight global warming will be of keen interest to other countries, particularly after Trump withdrew from the Paris Climate Accord during his time as president.